What's happening? What's good? It's the Erica Jones live from Gumbo Studios. Yes, I am here at PJ Martin Studio getting ready to interview the producer, the musician, the maestro, Shawn Keys Willis. Listen, you do not want to miss this. Listen, my guys work with so many people and this is going to be a fun interview. So join me as I talk to the man, Shawn Keys Willis. I'll see you in a minute. I'm here with my friend, my brother, Mr. Shawn Keys Willis.
What's up?
Brother, it is so good to be here with you at, I'm going to just go ahead and say, the legendary Gumbo Studios, owned by the PJ Martin.
The PJ Martin.
Yes, sir. He does a lot of work here, so I wanted to get in here and talk to him about what it is he does and just give you guys a glimpse of this producer, this musician, my friend. So Shawn, what's been going on, man?
Man, just working.
Yes.
Working,
the
man.
Life of a producer.
Man, it's crazy. You know, I actually thought that the pandemic might slow me down, but honestly, I can say that God actually favored me and the work picked up.
Listen,
during the pandemic, and it is crazy, man. It's been just an amazing ride. You know, and all glory to God, man. I'm just happy to just be used right now.
Yes. So this guy, let me tell you, this guy is one of the most humble people that I know. To say he has so many accolades behind his name, he could be, you know, braggadocious and, you know, but he's always been the same. Every time I've ever talked to Shawn, you know, when I released my single, Shawn hit me up and was like, "E," like, cause I had one of the guys that works with him. He recorded, I guess he did the session with you.
Yeah.
And he was like, "E,
yes,
this track is fire."
Fire.
So, you know, I appreciate you down through the years, bro. You've always been the same. So, you know, this guy is the man.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt, man. I always like to rep everybody from this area.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, a lot of times me and a lot of artists from this area always talk about how this area has always kind of been like on the back burner as it pertains to mainly gospel music.
Yep.
So it's like, I've always said, man, you know, that, you know, one day God's going to shine the light on Louisiana, you know, and let people know what's going on down here. And so every time one of us, you know, gets something popping or something happen, I try to celebrate it. You know, because I want people to know that, you know, we
got something going on down here
too. You know, like you know, it ain't just about gumbo and rap music and all. We got singers,
musicians,
and not just gospel. You know, it's a lot of great other, you know, genres down here that, you know, that people just don't know about. We just untapped. So I like how God is kind of elevating us. And
absolutely. So look, let's get into the foundation of who Shawn is.
Okay.
So tell me about your upbringing. Did you always know you wanted to be a musician? Was keyboard the first instrument that you ever played?
Actually, it wasn't.
See, I knew it. I knew it.
The first instrument I ever played, like most kids, was drums.
Okay.
So I grew up in my godfather's church, which happened to be like 3 blocks from my mom and dad's house. So it's a church in Kenner. I grew up in Kenner. Yeah. Those of you that don't know where Kenner is where the airport is. When you fly into New Orleans International Airport, that's actually Kenner.
That's Kenner, right?
Okay. So I grew up, you know, listening to planes fly over my head all day long. So, but yeah, my godfather's church, Cypress Grove Baptist Church in Kenner, is where I got my musical foundation. My mom and dad kind of noticed around like 4 and 5 years old that I kind of started gravitating towards music, and I would be that kid that was always sitting on the front bench just looking at the drummer, like, you know, during the whole service, and then looking at the organist during the whole service and just watching what they were doing. And it was crazy, man. Like, God just kind of blessed me to start playing. I never took lessons initially.
Wow, Shawn, come
on. It was crazy.
Yeah,
it was totally a gift from God. And the way it kind of happened was, it was this one particular Sunday, the organist had a flat and she couldn't make it. So the deacons was like, hey, that little boy that's always sitting down in the front, let him play till she get here, let him play. And it's crazy. I actually played for the service. And yeah, man, and from there my mom and dad just kind of started sewing into, you know, my gift. They started buying me drum sets, and when I tell one up, they'll buy me another one. They started buying me keyboards and stuff like that, and you know, God just kind of you know, blessed my gift, and now we're here.
What age were you at that time?
I was 5 when I started.
What?
Yeah, 5 years old. When I played for my first service, I was about 5 or 6 years old.
Shawn.
Yep. Feet could barely touch the pedals on the Hammond at the bottom.
The organ?
Yeah. Yep.
What?
Yeah, got on the organ. I was about 5 or 6 years old, and it's crazy because I can still remember this to this day. I didn't really understand the concept and the approach to the organ because I started playing drums.
Yeah.
And they used to let me play like drums for the Sunbeam Choir and stuff like that. So I used to go back and forth. But the first time I ever played organ, I'm sitting on there and I'm playing, and I'm kind of like changing chords and stuff like that. But my foot, the bass notes, I was just playing the same note over and over again. But you know, I mean, it's crazy just to see the growth from 5 years old to now. You know, it's just crazy. But yeah, 5 years old. It's a bunch of 5 or 6.
That's definitely a gift.
Yeah.
That is a gift. I was not expecting you to say that. 5?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So growing up, who were some of your influence? You know, who were you influenced by?
Man, it was, musician-wise, probably it was so many people, man. Like, just local people that when I was just initially getting into it, before I even knew there was a music industry, it was like people like, there was this guy from the neighborhood. His name was Ricky. I can't remember his last name. Gosh, but he was he was a really, really good organist. That's the guy I used to watch in church all the time. And you know, he used to always encourage me to you know, sit on the organ and watch what he was doing and stuff like that. And as far as drummers, there was this guy named Leonard. I used to watch him all the time. But once I actually got into the industry and started kind of listening to artists, man, John P. Key was probably one of the, and probably still is, one of the most influential people, you know, to meet. I actually had a chance to meet him as well too. Like, as far as just songwriter, producer, artist, here's another fun fact that a lot of people don't know about. If you know me, you know what I'm about to say. I used to actually have my own choir. Yeah, I used to have my own choir, and it was so crazy because we patterned ourselves so much after John P. Key and New Life.
Kind of like Lamont Jackson.
Exactly. but we were actually doing that before he started.
Oh, come on.
And I used to sing a little bit back in the day. Yeah, I will not sing now.
In order to be a producer, listen, y'all can sing.
Look, see,
y'all play games. No. In order to be a producer, you have to have some sort of ear. You got to be able to put parts together, to arrange and all of that. So I don't want to hear.
Well, you do to an extent. But here's what I tell people all the time. If you want to hear me sing, come to a session where I'm producing a lead vocal. Then you'll hear me sing a little bit. Or background. But yeah, man, we used to have a little choir called it was the Voices of True Praise Community Choir. That was what they were. And all my former VOTP members.
Wow.
But it's crazy. Yeah, man, we had a choir, and we used to go around from church to church. We did a little traveling. We did like a gig in Tennessee before. Yeah, we did a little something. And it's crazy, man. Yeah, that's something that people really don't know. But so John P. Key was like, like the guy for me. Once I started producing though, one of the major influences, and I've never met this guy, and I still to this day want to meet him, was Rodney Jerkins. Because I just really loved the way, like, him and Brandy's like chemistry was just ridiculous. And a lot of people don't know that when I first started producing, I wasn't really doing a lot of worship music and stuff. Like, I got a lot of opportunities to do like R&B kind of, gospel and like all of that kind of stuff. So that kind of genre I kind of started off in. And then I started kind of getting the calls for like the worship stuff and more the churchy gospel stuff that I'm doing now. But yeah, man, like those are like probably the two most influential people musically, that I kind of,
They are some major producers and musicians, so I can understand, why you would gravitate towards it. So did you ever start making beats per se, like for rappers, or were you just like kind of into playing keyboard?
No, I did beats. I have done beats. As a matter of fact, I'm actually working on. It's crazy you say that. I'm working on a CHH. See, that's the new thing now. A Christian hip hop artist. They giving all these initials.
Like, what is it?
Yeah, see, you guys, C. What is it? C whatever. But CHH. You got CCM. That's what I was thinking about. But so. I'm working with a Christian hip hop artist now, and it's crazy because as a matter of fact, the last session I just had here with my background singers for another record we're working on, I played this beat for them because I had to have one of my background singers sing the hook, and they were looking like, wait, you doing rap now? I'm like, man, this is what I kind of started doing. So it had some rappers from the neighborhood when I was getting my feet wet, trying to, learn.
Make a beat.
Hey, but how much you charge for a beat?
Right.
That kind of thing. So yeah, man, I used to break out my MPC, and that's the reason why I wear this chain. This is actually like an MPC on this thing.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I started at. So yeah, I've done beats before.
I already know. But anyway, so. How long were you a musician before you said, let me break into producing?
Man, let's see. I'm about to tell my age here. Let's see. So at 99 is when I started producing. Okay. So I started playing music at 5, and I was just being a musician through high school and a portion of college. In 99 is when I actually launched my production company. But what happened was, a couple years prior to that, we were sitting in sessions, but matter of fact, with Lamont Jackson, when I was his musical director. We would Lamont would come into rehearsals, and he would like have these songs that God just gave him, and he would just start singing them. And as the MD, it was up to me to start kind of formulating this music around what he was singing. So we would sit in the rehearsals, and he would just start singing this stuff, and we would have to catch it. So once we got into the studio, we kind of started putting things together. So he would be asking me, hey, what you think we should do right here? And so the guys are like, bro, you kind of producing. That's like what a producer does. And I'm like, huh? So I was kind of producing without knowing that I was producing.
Yeah.
So but I actually stepped out in 99 and started saying, okay, I'm going to produce. I'm going to be a producer. This is what I'm doing. I'm starting my company. So I guess it started before 99, but I was a musician from 5 to probably like 17, and then around 17 is when I started kind of getting into, okay, now I want to produce. I see y'all do the math. I know y'all doing the math right now. He's like 99, 17.
Yeah, right. Being a producer, working with all kind of artists and spirits, everybody ain't saved, and everybody ain't got good mental health going on.
Right.
So,
you're right.
Did you meet any challenges with working with any artists? Like, did you want to, like, once you started working with them and kind of saw if they were difficult, were you like, shucks, I should have thought about this?
I'll tell you something.
Tell me the truth. Tell us the truth.
In this line of work, you're always going to be challenges. With pretty much anybody you work with, because you're just gonna have two differences of opinions. Like, I may feel some way, the person may feel another way. And to answer your question is, yes, I have had instances where I've been like, oh gosh, why did I take this? But at the end of the day, what I've always reminded myself is that it's never about the person, but it's always about the song. Yeah. So even when I try to tell them something or try to direct them in a certain way, and they may not really be feeling it, I try to always remind them, hey, it's nothing personal. It's just about the song. It's about the bettering of the song to make sure the song is everything that it can be, potentially, can be. So I try to always remind artists that even musicians, like if we come into a session and they're not giving me what I need exactly, I'll try to explain it to them. And and all the people that I work with now, we work together so long that nobody really gets to their feelings about what I say to them, because they know it's not about them, it's about the song. But yeah, it has been some times where it's difficult, or an artist may not be able to achieve exactly what it is I need them to do. But what I pride myself on is studying everybody before I take on the task, so that I know what their limitations are, and I know what they may think they can't do, but I know I may be able to push them to that. Every there's always been some type of times where you'd be like, ugh.
Let me ask you this. Has there ever been a moment when it just did not work? Like, I mean, you told this artist, okay, I need you to do this, or they thought they had the capability to do this, and you don't want to hurt their feelings, but that's not gonna work.
Well, actually, I've never had it where it just didn't work, because my motto is that how can we? How can we get to what we're trying to accomplish? You and I. Okay, let's get a happy medium. Like, I may need you to do this. You may not be able to get all the way there. So where can we meet at in the middle?
Right.
So I've never got to think knock on wood.
Knock on the floor. It's wood.
I've never got to the point where I was like, man, this ain't working. This ain't gonna work. Because I try to pride myself in that. It's like I've kind of gotten to the point where sometimes a challenge is welcomed. Because I told somebody the other day, this is crazy, that no matter how much you achieve in this line of work, there still is a level of trust that the artist has to have for the producer. And sometimes some people come into it, excuse me, even with all of the things that you've done, they still don't fully trust you yet.
Yeah.
So you have to earn that person's trust. So sometimes the challenge is kind of welcome, because it gets you out of your comfort zone. As people think they see what you're doing, they see how God is blessing you and stuff. But sometimes you kind of need that nudge, like, okay, you got to prove yourself to somebody again. So, but thank God I've never had a situation where it's just like, man, this ain't working. This ain't working. Yeah.
So, okay, that leads me to this question. When working with an artist or hearing a song and you have to produce it, did you know instantly that it was a hit? Like, in your head, like, after everything's come together, the vocals, everything, did you know instantly, like, this is it, this is one?
Yeah, now I'm gonna tell you something. Here's my take on hits. I feel that hits are made. Let me explain that to you. Some people think that hits are born. Okay, so what I mean by that is, people think that songs are initially just hits once you record them. But I think it's through the exposure of a song and the marketing of a song and the radio play of a song that makes it a hit. Not to answer your question directly, yes, there have been times where I got a demo back from the guy that does my vocal production and does some of the writing with me, and instantly when I heard it, I was like, ooh, this is it. Before I even put the first musician on the record, it was still in its demo form. Before I got the background singer, before the lead vocalist came in and did their stuff, I was like, ooh, this is it. Have I been right all the time? Probably not, but there have been times where it's like, okay, for instance, there was the song that went #1. Keela Richardson's song, So Good. A lot of people don't know that song was actually recorded like in 2008. The young lady that wrote it along with Adolphus Scott, her name is Elena Mayberry. Honestly, the song was gonna be for her project years ago, and she had some situations happen with the label that she was with, and things didn't pan out. So I was like, hey, let's just sit on the record for a while. And but I still knew I had a hit.
You had it.
And as soon as you know, I pitched it to Uncle G.
Right.
And Keela, Uncle G, and immediately was like,
you be on it.
Right. He was like, yo, this is it. I was like, really? And I was like, I kind of knew that, but I didn't want to be like, well, yeah, I know it is. But he was like, this is it. And the rest is history. So, but yeah, man, but there are songs right now that I'm working on right now that I really feel like with the proper exposure and with the proper person pushing it, it's definitely gonna be
go.
Yeah.
That's what's up, bro. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
I am so happy for you.
Look, I'm just always trying to rep for the state. Like I love
Put us on.
I love where I live, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody thinks, well, not everybody, but some people think you have to leave here and move to LA and move to Chicago, move to New York, and I just really felt that was my prayer. I was like, God, like let it happen.
Make it happen
here. You know, like show people it can happen here. That's why I love people like PJ Morton. You know, he lived in LA, but he came back home and he's doing it from right here.
Right.
I mean, look.
Right.
You know, he's doing it from right here, from New Orleans. You know, and you know, I just always just wanted to rep my state well. You know.
And thank you for that.
Oh, not a problem.
And then look at what's going on.
Yeah, man.
So, are you selective in who you work with? Do you accept anybody, or because you know some people, it's money. You know what I mean? So I'm just produce them.
Yeah, no. See, no. I at one point, you know, I was kind of feeling. I guess this is the side of me that's really like I don't want to be the cocky guy. So I never really turned anybody away, but then I had to start realizing that if a person's final goal for what they do doesn't match what I want to do, then it's probably not a good fit.
Yeah.
So if you're just trying to do, you know, a record for your mama and your auntie to hear it, and you really not trying to go past, you know, the four walls of your church, and you don't have a global vision for what, right, exactly, yeah, not even a global vision, but just a vision. You know what I'm saying? So, so those people I probably will shy away from because you know it's like, and even though
it's a waste of time.
Exactly, right, exactly. It's like, you know, and I feel like, you know, some people say, well, it's money, man, make the money. Yeah, but all money ain't good money. And
your name is attached.
And exactly.
Period.
It's like it's nothing you can't, you know, like do anything to, you know, like water down what God's given you. You know, and that's no shot to nobody, please. That's no shot to nobody. But it's just that, you know, you have to make sure that you have like-minded people doing, you know, working together. Because if you don't feel like you want to push your product to the next level, let everybody know about what you're doing, show everybody what God's doing with you, that kind of thing, then, but here I am, here comes the conflict now, because I'm gonna be calling like, okay, yeah, so did you get a radio promoter? Like, what are you doing with the record? Like, what are you doing with it? Like, right, you know, and then I kind of feel like, hey, I could have taken that record, because here's me, I'm gonna give you my best work.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether nobody knows you or whether everybody knows you.
You're gonna get that same
right,
energy.
exactly. So it's like, you know, and you know, like I always tell people, songwriters and producers, you know, those records and those songs are your babies.
Your babies.
And nobody think they got an ugly baby.
Nope.
So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you know, I just, yeah, that is kind of my cutoff point.
Yeah.
And I have conversations with people before I take them on. I'm like, look, what are your goals? What do you want to do? Like, so if you talking right, okay, let's work.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I got you. So have you ever had a moment where you've fallen out of love? Like, I know you on 1,000 now. Like, you got all these hits and you know, you will never probably be like, nah, I ain't doing this no more. But when things were, or weren't, you felt like weren't picking up like you thought they should, and you looking at everybody else doing this, and you know you are just as good, if not better, did you say, man, I'm sick of this?
She been peeking in my house or something. She see, I'm gonna tell you something. Crazy, it's crazy, and you explained it exactly the way it happened for me. Honestly, y'all, it happened right before I got my hit with Keela. It's been that recent. I had just been feeling like I was going through the motions. I had just felt and I just like you said, man, God, I'm these are the conversations me and God talk to each other like that's my homie.
It's your homie.
And I'm like, yo, like, hey, God, like, I know you gifted me to do this. I know you've given me the gift. I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I know this is my purpose. And I'm like, yo, like, man, I know I'm just as good as these other cats.
Right.
Why are they getting all these opportunities? And here, you know, I've been doing this for a while, and God had to realize, and God had to make me realize, yo, you right where I need you to be. Just stay right, because I literally called a friend of mine, one of my best friends in the whole world. His name is Lemuel Clark. He lives in LA now. He's a drummer. He plays on a lot of my records. And I called him and I told him, I said, Lem, I'm done. I'm done, bro. I'm not about to do this no more. And I'm sure anybody that's ever been on their way to greatness we've all experienced the time we like, man, I'm done. I'm not doing this no more. It's ridiculous. You know, I called him and he actually talked me off the ledge. He was like, bro, for you to give up now would be the craziest thing ever in your life, man. He's like, you know, God called you to do this, you know, and you know, you just got to keep plugging away. And then my wife is another person that always encourages me, always gives me that push in the back, like, yo, babe, don't stop, keep going, look, you can't worry about, you know, all of that other stuff. Just stay in your lane, do what you do, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And man, it was like instantly after that, here comes Uncle G. He calls me. Hey, I got this. You remember Keela Richardson from Sunday Best? Yeah. Hey nephew, I want you to produce her. I don't want nobody else. I want you to produce her. I'm like, okay, cool. And got in there and got in the studio and did the records, and we showed them. I let him hear So Good, and she recorded it, and boom, and then here it goes. And he's like, I told you, if you give me your best in the studio, I was gonna make sure, I was gonna give you my best, and here we are now. And it's like, and I prayed after that, and I was like, God, thank you for friends that didn't let me give up.
That's right.
And just the will to not give up. And a lot of times, we say things in the heat of battle that we don't really mean, but dang it, I meant I was about to stop. I'm like, man, I'm not doing this no more, that's why you really got to have thick skin in the business. In this business, you really got to have thick skin. You really got to have thick skin, and you got to be patient, and you got to remember that your timing ain't always God's timing.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So like when it's God's timing, you're going to get there, and then nobody can pluck you out of where God has you. Once you get to where God wants you to be,
for you, nobody
take
that.
So I'm glad I didn't give up. But yeah, man, I think everybody's gone through that.
Of course.
And so that's my little story.
That's your little story.
That's my little story.
But we continue to trust God. We don't know. We really don't know what God's plan is for us. It stops all the time.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you this question, because we've all been there. Have you ever been competitive or picked up an ego as a young musician trying to coming up and trying to get your footing? I mean, I know sometimes, when you become good at something and like let's say a musical or something like that, you look, let me play. I'm about to kill it.
You know what though? I'm gonna tell you, like me, my mom and dad, my mother and father have all. That's probably why people all say I'm very humble. My mom and dad have always made me be grounded. Like, yo, this ain't about you, boy. Like you look. Remember how you got to where you are. God put his hand on you and gave you the gift to play. So this ain't never about you. It's always about him. And from a kid, they instilled that into me. So, excuse me, there were competitive people around me all the time, but I always kept the focus on, and it's a blessing and a curse to an extent, because it kind of made me feel like I maybe wasn't as good as people said I was, or as I really was, because I just always kept it like, just be, meek and humble. And people used to say, man, you killing. And I would always, be like, kind of playing it down until I heard a preacher preach about, just learning how to accept compliments and knowing when God has gifted you to do something and walking in your gift without being arrogant. And it's like, and she said, it's not a sin for when somebody tells you, man, you killing, or you do, because as a matter of fact, she's a singer, as a matter of fact, too. Pastor Tyra Alexander, thank you for this. I talked to you about this. Shout out to Pastor Tyra Alexander. She preached this message a few years back. But she was like, it's not she said we need to learn when somebody gives you props on your gift. It's something that God gave you, but you can say thank you, bless you, or whatever. But instead of like downplaying it, so I never really got the competitive thing because I was always afraid to get in self. Yeah. Your parents, right? It's like, so I didn't ever want to be like, oh yeah, man, I'm about to smash this dude. Even though I was around people that talked like that.
And we're telling you to feel like that.
Right, and it's like I used to, I used to kind of get like, oh man, don't say that. It used to make me nervous when people were like, man, we about to dump this house, bruh. We about to kill. And I used to be like, it just didn't, but I have felt that whole competitive thing before. Yeah, you're right. And I don't want anybody to feel like I didn't go into gigs and stuff confident because I knew the squad I had with me. Like you're right. And then our reputation kind of preceded us, like especially when we were traveling with Lamont, people knew the band. Expectations. And they already had expectations. These cats, I will never forget. God rest his soul. Michael Robinson did something one time that made me feel so good and made me know that we were really making an impact. We were down here for Rejoicing in the Park, and they used to do Rejoicing in the Park in Armstrong Park. And Lois Dejan was calling Lamont and A New Beginning up to the stage. Michael Robinson grabbed the mic from Lois Dejan and called his son and said, "Little Mike, come to this stage now, and you need to hear these boys from Hammond play." And I will never forget that. And it was like, Michael Robinson, to a lot of us musicians down here, was like, and still is to this day, even though he's gone, was like the top tier guy ever to touch a keyboard. And we all looked up to him so much. But I would never forget, man, we was at Rejoicing Park. He was like, I need my son to come to and say, I need you to hear these boys. Now, I wasn't from Hammond, right. but everybody associated me with them because I was always with them. But he's like, I need y'all to come hear these boys. I need you to come hear these boys from Hammond play. So at that point, that was probably the first time I really felt like, hey man, we good. We somebody. Yeah man, but it was just hard for me to ever just really just go in there like, we about to kill. That's just wasn't my character.
That's cool. I appreciate that about you. I can tell though. You've never been cocky and none of that. So I just wanted to ask you. I know we all go through those moments where we feel like we own. Right. So I just wanted to ask you. So we're about to wrap this up. What does success look like for you? Do you feel like you're at your peak, or you're getting to a point where you becoming more successful in this thing?
I don't think I'm at my peak yet. I think I am climbing. Okay. I still desire to work with, some of the A-listers, as they say.
Absolutely.
Here's
and
my.
You deserve to.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Here's my take on it. I'll say this. I'll never be too big to work with an independent artist, somebody just beginning, because it's something so special about being like that foundation, the first, person to work with you, like out the gate before people know who you are. Like that's something that can never be taken away from the producer or the songwriter or the artist, whatever. It's like, man, I remember when, you know, I was the first person to work with this person before they became, you know, this, or, you know, so I will never, ever, ever not want to work with an indie. But I do desire to, you know, have, you know, those A-list clients, you know, so I feel like I'm on my way up.
Your way.
You know, even though, you know, I've had a number one, another number one that just happened. You know, I just still feel like, you know, I'm still on my way up. And I guess that's just how I kind of look at things too, because I always want to feel like I'm ever evolving, and I always want to feel like I'm still learning. You know, because I feel like the day you stop learning is the day you're dying.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, so you know, yeah, man, I don't feel like I've peaked or I'm at the top, because the next thing is that you're coming down. So I want to keep climbing.
Right.
I want to keep climbing. So yeah, that, you know, I still got some stuff I really want to do.
Okay, so let's get into, before we get out of here, some of your accomplishments, your accolades. Like, let's talk about the number ones and who you work with, and let's talk about that.
Yeah, so I mean,
because you got so much, I'm not about to read all that. I'm sorry, no.
So okay, so let's talk about artists. So Kim Person is somebody that comes to mind. Kim Person was two-time Stellar nominee for 2020. Amazing vocalist out of North Carolina. She is amazing. If y'all don't know Kim Person, y'all go look Kim Person up. She is phenomenal. Of course, I work with Titus Showers, my boy from Hammond. The Showers, you know, I work with them. Keela Richardson, who I got the number one with, and another one that just went number one on Billboard, and on Gospel Indicator charts on Billboard, and trending to go number one on Gospel Airplay charts on Billboard as well, and Media Base. So Keela, oh gosh, man, there's so many. I don't want to forget nobody. Let's see, Keela Richardson, James Mabel Jr., Dr. James Mabel Jr. out of Houston, Texas, who is a great friend of mine. He's amazing. He has a song we did that just got in the top 30 on Billboard. Isabel Davis.
I was about to say, come on now.
Isabel Davis. It was crazy to be a part of her initial project. You know, that won a Stellar award. I was blessed to do 4 records on her project, one of which they're still playing on XM. That's not, and the song's not even being promoted. It just was that good of a song that they just still playing it.
Wow.
You know, and that's a blessing. Man, it's so many. There's a new artist. There's a few new artists that are out and are coming out that I need to let y'all know about. There's one guy named Shawn Anderson.
Okay.
From Oklahoma City. He has a single out. His debut single is called "He Kept Me." Oh my God! This young man is a singer's singer.
Come on.
And yeah, his song is out right now. It's called "He Kept Me." Check it out. We have my girl. Oh my God.
Tanya?
No. Oh yeah, Tanya Dallas Lewis. Let me go back. Now that's back a little bit. Tanya Dallas Lewis, who was a Dove and Stellar nominee, worked with her. She's amazing. There's a new artist coming out, Sabrina Lowe. We actually had a single that I did with her that got into the top 30 on Billboard, but we just finished her EP. It's gonna be called The Genesis. And her name is Sabrina Lowe. She's from Pensacola, Florida. Y'all, this girl talks like this, but she's a powerhouse. She is so meek and humble and so sweet. But man, when she get behind a mic, whoo, watch out. Yeah, she's amazing. We wrapped up her EP just a few weeks ago. Man, I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. Help me out. Help me out.
I don't know. That's why I told you I was gonna let you do it, because that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot, and I'm sure I'm forgetting some people. Oh gosh.
Charge it to his head.
Yeah, charge it to my head, not my heart. Maybe I'll type it in the comments. Sakandria Holden is a young new artist that I've worked with. We did 2 singles together. You know, I'm trying to remember all y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. CC Edmondson. I gotta tell y'all about CC Edmondson. CeCe Edmondson is somebody I've been knowing since she was 16 years old. Wow. She's from Hammond. Her and her husband have a thriving, amazing photography business in Hammond, Edmondson Photography, excuse me. But people don't know that girl can sing. She really can sing. We did a single called Hands Up. It was a nice little summertime vibe, youthful. It really did well on radio. Isaac Caree featured it on his Good Vibes show on XM a few months back, and we're currently starting her new EP now. So we just finished song number 2 for her EP, and we got like I think about 4 more to go. But yeah, y'all gotta check out CeCe Edmondson. But y'all, please, if I forgot any of y'all, please don't beat me up. I'm sorry, just please don't beat me up.
Listen, my guy Shawn is working. He is making this thing do what it do. And I am so proud of him. We're going to be wrapping this up real quick. But before we go, let the people know how they can get in touch with you.
Absolutely.
How they can possibly work with you.
Sure.
Give the people all your little situations.
So listen, a little disclaimer before I say this. I have to let y'all know that I do understand that your social media handles are all supposed to be the same. But unfortunately, I guess my name is common. So on Instagram, you can get me at The Smoothest. Let me spell that. DASMOOTHEST on Instagram. On Facebook, it's Shawn Keys, SEANKEYS. Or my production page on Facebook is Smooth Tunes Productions. Twitter, it's Smooth Tunes Prod, PROD. They wouldn't let me finish the whole word out production because it was too long, I guess. And then if you want to email me to work, you can hit me up at smoothtunesmusic@gmail.com. And my phone number, I'm not going to give you that. Man married, he got a wife, phone don't need to be ringing all times of night, whatever. But anyway, listen, you guys, I'm just so excited. I'm so happy that you took the time out of your busy schedule, because I know. I'm honored, like I told you before. Anytime anybody asks me to talk about what God is doing for me, I will not say no. Y'all gotta give it up for E. She's so swaggy, y'all. I'm gonna start calling her Swaggy E. That's her new nickname.
Thank you. You know what? You remind me of Amos a little bit. By the eyes.
Let me tell you something. I have heard that so much. Every time I go to Baton Rouge, they be like, man, you look like Amos. You know, y'all can be brothers. And then when I take off the hat, they be like, oh, yeah.
Bro. I'm sitting up here like, boy, it looks like Amos to me. But that's crazy because y'all both are in production and playing and all that different
stuff. And Amos is a cold boy. That boy cold.
I saw Amos playing bass the other night.
Man, that's crazy. I didn't even know he played guitar.
What?
Like somebody.
That's his instrument.
Right, I didn't know because I met Amos playing keys. And I was like, when they started telling me, Amos playing guitar, I'm like, wait, what?
Everything.
Yeah, he plays everything.
Yes, but anyway.
The man.
He is the man. And so are you.
Thank you.
So again, The Erica Jones Show, Shawn Keys Willis, the man. Thank you so much for being here.
No problem. Thanks, man.
And I hope all you guys tune in.
Yep.
This was a very interesting interview. I did not know half of this stuff. So thank you for sitting down with me. Thank you, Gumbo.
Yeah.
PJ Martin. Listen, this place is amazing.
I love this place. Thanks, PJ. I appreciate you,
PJ, bro.
And my boy, Reggie Nick.
Yes, shout out to Reggie.
Yeah.
For letting us in.
Yeah, man.
So anyway, again, thank you, Shawn. And I'm out. Y'all have a good one. Always love yourself before anyone else.
That's
always
right.
say that.
Yep.
So, peace. We out.
Peace.